Hey there, Keys, Consumer Math and Personal Finance. I'm going to go ahead and do the examples from section 10.1, just in case you wanted to see something like that for your before you do your homework. Or if you got stuck on your homework, maybe working some of the examples will help you understand it better. But instead of doing the examples that you see in your book, I'm going to let you study those and we'll do some other examples. So look at example 1 on page 280. It talks about using the gross income rule, and we're going to do an example that's similar to that. So go ahead and pause the video, look at the example 1 real quick, study it. And now let's find the maximum affordable monthly housing cost, which includes rent, utilities, and insurance, for an annual income of $42,800. We're going to find this using our gross income rule, which is a quarter of your earnings, your monthly earnings. And since we're looking for the monthly payment, or what we can afford monthly, we're going to look at our monthly earnings. Now, we earn $42,800 in a year. In order to know how much we earn every month, we divide that by 12. Okay, and when you do that, you're going to get $3,566 and approximately 67 cents. This is actually 6 with, repeating 6. Okay, but you can just round to 67 cents. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that number and we're going to divide it by 4, because the monthly, or the gross income rule, means you take a quarter of your monthly income, and that's what you can afford for all your housing costs. So when we divide this by 4, we get $891.67 again. But we are not going to use $891.67. We're going to round it up to the nearest dollar. So it's $892. Sorry about that. There we go. So that's how you would work a problem trying to find out what your what you can afford each month with your gross income, using the gross income rule. And this is a standard whether you are renting or buying. Now go ahead and read the paragraphs at the top of 281 and then study example 2, which is an example of what it initially cost you to move into a rental apartment, or would cost a person to move in. That means their first payment that they would have to make before they could move in. And then come on back and we'll work a problem similar to that. Okay, now let's find the cost of occupying a rental property if the security deposit is 1 month's rent, which is $950 a month, and you had deposits of $100 each for electricity, water, and phone. So the first thing is we would have to leave a deposit of 1 month's rent. Plus, we would have to pay our first month's rent. So we're going to have to multiply that one times 2. This is the only time we're going to have to double our rent, but we have to do it when we initially move in. And then when we multiply those two numbers together, we get $1,900. Okay, and then we're going to add $100 each for electricity, water, and phone. That's $100 times 3, which is $300. So when I add all of those together, I end up getting $2,200, and that's how much it's going to cost to move into this apartment and stay there for the first month. And then after that, it will cost me $950 a month for rent, and then it will cost me whatever my utilities cost me. And I pay those a lot of times to the utility company. Unless I have an agreement with my apartment, then the apartment would add that to my rent, which if it's part of the $950 rent, then I wouldn't have to pay extra to those companies. I would just be paying all of it to the apartment. But it just depends on what your rental agreement is and what the apartment provides. Now go ahead and read the paragraph in between the two examples on page 281. And then we're going to come back and work example 3 together. According to your book, it says that many utility companies will give back their deposit, or rather refund your deposit with interest if a customer is in good standing after 18 to 24 months. I never had a utilities company do that, and I don't think my daughter's is going to do that, but maybe some do, and they've got some problems to work with that. So let's go ahead and look at example 3. It says, suppose that the couple in example 2 has maintained a satisfactory utility payment record for 24 months. Find the total amount they will get back from the utility deposits of all of the companies, if all of the companies, pay 6%, 12 times a year, beginning after the 3rd month. So we're going to go ahead and set that up. Okay, first, we need to find out how much they deposited for their utilities. Well, for electricity, we know that they deposited $150. For their phone, they deposited $85. And for their water and sewage, they deposited $25. Okay, so when you add all those together, you get a total of $240. So they're going to get a refund plus interest of $240. But they're not going to get an interest for the whole 24 months that they've been paying it. They're only going to get it after the first 3 months. So, and they're not going to get it after the first 3 months. They're going to get an interest after, they're going to subtract the first 3 months from 24 months. So they're going to get 21 months worth of interest, but they're not going to get it after month 3. They'll get it after month 24. So does that make sense? So if they've had 24 months of good payments, so they're going to get interest back on 21, the last 21 of those months, plus their $240 initial deposit. We need to go back to section 5.5 to find our compound interest formula, which is following. Let's see. Yep. So our total interest that we're going to earn, or not the interest we're going to earn, the total that we're going to get back is going to be our principal, which is $240. So I'm going to write that here. $240 times 1 plus the rate, and the rate they told us is going to be 6%, but it's 6% APR, not 6% each month, so we're dividing it by 12. Remember, our M is our old N, so it's a number of times it gets compounded a year. And then how many times does it get compounded? It gets compounded 21 times. We figured that 21 right here, 21 months. So when I plug this into my calculator, figure it all out, I end up getting S equals approximately $266 when I round it up at 50 cents. $266.50. Okay? So how much that's how much you get back. So how much interest did I actually earn? Well, I get my $240 back plus whatever that is from 266, which ends up being 200. Excuse me, sorry about that. I ended up getting a total of $26.50 interest. So not a lot, but it's some, because the utilities company borrowed my money for that time. I ended up being a good steward with my money. I paid my utilities on time and in full. Therefore, they're giving me a little bit of money back because they kept mine for a while. That's a good deal. So these are the kinds of problems that you are going to be working for your homework if you haven't already. I will see you on the next video. Enjoy the snow.